Jamie with Guitarist magazine. Now, recently we had the welcome reintroduction of the American Vintage range by Fender, which replaced their American Originals range, which was kind of like reissue light, if you like, where they used some features from the past, or many features from the past, but some more modern features. Fender have now gone back to a more slavishly accurate reissue range, and this is what we're looking at today, American Vintage 2, and the two guitars from that range that we're looking at specifically are the 72 Tele Thinline and the 75 Tele Deluxe. Now, this is quite an interesting portion of Fender's history. Traditionally, the 70s has been the sort of poor relation of the 60s and 50s Fenders, but they're getting more and more interest these days. And part of that is because of the wide range humbucking pickups that Seth Ludder designed for Fender for their 70s Telecasters like these. Wide ranges use interesting magnets, cuneiform, which is, denotes the particular blend of metals that make up the magnet. And one of the characteristics of cuneiform is that it doesn't have an awful lot of bottom end when it's made into a pickup. So what Seth Ludder had to do is make a pickup with a wider footprint, larger sort of physical size, to kind of bring back some of that low end, basically. And so that's what we get with the wide ranges here, which have now, for the first time in ages, been recreated accurately with the right magnets by Fender in these American Vintage 2 reissues. So let's start with the guitar that I've got in my hands. This is the 72 Tele Thinline. So let's talk about some of the features of this, and we can also talk about how it differs from the Deluxe. Even though they look outwardly quite similar, they are slightly different guitars. So the first thing to say about this is, obviously it's got an F-hole, and it's a kind of what you might call a heavily chambered body, made of ash in this case. It's got a 7.25 inch radius, so that's that vintage, quite curvy Fender radius. Those who are used to a modern flatter radius of 12 inches or more probably find this a little bit different. Great for chords, bar chords and things like that. A little bit trickier to set up to do big bends and things like that without choking up. This one, I have to say, has been really well behaved, so no problems here. Very nice slender neck on this, actually. 2 controls rather than 4 on the Tele Deluxe, so master volume and master tone control, and obviously the familiar 3 neck, middle and bridge. When I say middle, I mean both on at once. And 21 frets, bone nut, and all of the vintage appointments you'd associate with a 72 Thinline. So, having said that, let's, as if by magic, switch to the Tele Deluxe and talk about some of the features on that. So here we are with the 75 Tele Deluxe from the American Vintage 2 range. So let's talk about the differences between this and the Thinline we just looked at. First of all, we've got that big old flared headstock, which replaces the more traditional Tele headstock that you saw on the Tele Thinline. 21 frets, still bone nut, still 2 wide ranges, but here you've got 4 controls, a little bit more like a Gibson, which give you independent control over the volume and tone of each pickup, which can be useful. It's actually weirdly a bit more useful on something like a Tele Custom, which has got the sort of single coil at the bridge, where you might want to balance that humbucker and slightly sharper single coil using these controls, but still very useful. You can do all of those things to set up one to be a little bit quieter than the other, etc., etc., when you've got both on. So it does give you more light and shade tonally. Older body, so that's another point of difference which has an impact on the sound. And as you can see, this one's available in Sunburst here. You've also got this in Mocha and Black, whereas the Tele Thinline that we saw is available in Natural, Sunburst and Lake Placid Blue. Both guitars retail for just over £2,000. So that's pretty much the main features of this. One more thing to say, I'll just flip this over carefully here. Of course, because they're 70s reissues, you've got the 3-screw neck with the micro tilt adjustment. Although that gets a bad rep, if the neck pocket is cut well, there's no reason that this 3-bolt neck or 3-screw neck shouldn't deliver great results. I think the bad reputation might have come from poorly executed neck joints back in the 70s on some Fenders, but these ones, have to report, are very nice and seem very stable. So yeah, very much what you'd expect of an accurate reissue. So next we're going to just show you some of the tones of these guitars. You heard a little bit at the start of this video, but we're going to do some basically tones with just a smidgen of reverb, so you can hear what these guitars sound like clean and with a bit of drive, and we'll do some A-B comparisons. Starting with the Deluxe, we'll swap to the Thinline, and just for a bit of extra fun, I'm going to get my original early 70s Tele Custom, which has had a few mods, but the Fender wide range at the neck is an original one. So we'll listen to that and see how these reissued Cunefay wide range pickups sound next to a real one. So let's go for it. So here's the Tele Deluxe. We'll play clean on the neck pickup. We'll go through the pickups and then we'll do the same on the other guitars. Here it goes. Okay, so this is my modded Tele Custom. We're just going to hear the original wide range in the neck here, because that's the only wide range that's on here, but nice to hear an original one side by side with Fender's recreation. So here we go. Okay, here's some drive tones on the Tele Deluxe, starting with the neck pickup. Over to the Tele Thinline, starting with the neck pickup. Middle. Down to the bridge. Okay, and once again with that original, fairly original early 70s Tele Custom wide range at the neck here. Only got the neck to play with, as mentioned before, but here goes with a bit of drive. that was our 72 Tele Thinline, which I have in my hands here, and the 75 Tele Deluxe. Two really nice guitars that are probably gaining more in reputation now, years and years after their release, than they did at the time. Surprisingly versatile, though they're humbuckers, they have quite a Fendery snap to them. So if you're looking for a Tele that's a little bit different, maybe takes you in a slightly different direction, definitely check out these American Vintage 2 70s Telecasters. Well worth your time, and I hope you've enjoyed this video.